Okay na.
So, good afternoon everyone. We are the sixth reporter and the last reporter. So, our topic for today is all about the arts and creative literacy with my learning partner, Miss Joyce de la Fiesta. And I will be the one discussing first. I am Miss Jasmine Jean Narita and I hope you'll be willing to listen to me. First, let us define what is creativity. So, creativity is the process of producing something that is both original and valuable. So that means that creativity alone does not stop in making beautiful design, but also making something original and valuable, and that is practical. And the second definition is from Jackson. It's the production of something original, just like the first definition, the production of something original and worthwhile in a problem situation. So in this creativity, as like I said, it doesn't stop in designing, but it talks about real life situation. And the last definition would be from Lorentz. So I guess you know who is Paul Lorentz, right? We've discussed Paul Lorentz, specifically the creative intelligence last year. Our instructor last year that discussed this one was Sir Gusar. So Paul Lorentz said that the process of becoming sensitive to problems, deficiencies, gaps in knowledge, missing elements, disharmonies, and so on, identifying the difficulty, searching for solution, making guesses, or formulating hypotheses about the deficiencies. So, creativity talks about being creative and solving real life problems, and of course, when you are creative in real life problems, then you are a creative person. So, what defines a highly creative people? So, if you have the seven habits, then that means that you are a creative people. So, first habit is openness to experience. So, what do we mean by openness to experience? That means that as a creative person, you are willing to engage new and unconventional ideas that lead to the second habit, which is the courage to take risks. So what do we mean by the courage to take risks? The courage to take risks involves willingness to confront uncertainty. So when you are encouraged enough to take risks, so that means that you are persistent and resilient. So when we say persistence, that means that you know how to solve problems, and with resiliency. So what is resiliency? That means that if you are resilient enough, you find you find something positive despite of the negative that's happening in the world. So can we say that as a Filipino we are resilient? So we've seen in Facebook memes, and social media memes that despite being, for example, when we have typhoon here in the Philippines, then we see something on Facebook that despite the typhoon, we're still enjoying.
Yes.
Some of us, right?
Yes.
Some of us are still swimming.
Yes.
Yeah, swimming the baha, paghugaw maayo, because we are Filipinos. Because as a Filipino, we are highly creative people. That leads us to observation and awareness. So that doesn't mean that we are resilient, we are not observant. We are very observant. Dali lang kayo makabantay. We are very himantayon, and since we are himantayon, we are marites, and we are aware of what happening in the world that leads us to collaborate and networking. So when we say collaboration, that means we are open to everyone. We are very cooperative. For example, what the government is trying to implement to us. And in case of grassroots setting, we are collaborative enough in order to make a networking, in order to make connections. When we say networking, that means connection. And despite this one, despite coordination. So what is eye? Yung mata. What is hand? Kamot. So when you say eye-hand coordination, it refers to the ability of the visual system to coordinate visual information with the movements of the hand. So that means eye-hand coordination refers to our psychomotor skills. It involves the integration of visual input. When you say visual, it means what eyes see. So that's the meaning of visual. And motor skills. What do we mean by motor skills? Motor skills, the actions. So the eye and the actions perform tasks that require precise control of hand movement based on visual information. So that means kung usa nakita sa itong mata, mabuhat na nato. So what are the examples of eye-hand coordination? First example, threading a needle. So what do you need in order na masud ang tanod sa needle? Sa pagkamay kayo ang gusto sa tanod. O sa may kailangan nito?
Laway.
Mata. O sa order magpasod? O dapat punta makapasod. O makapasod tanod sa needle?
Wala.
Drawing and coloring. Do you think you can draw if you cannot see? No.
Yeah. Depende.
Depende.
Nahuna.
But as a normal person as you are, can you draw if you cannot see?
No.
Imagine drawing in a very, very dark room. Can you draw a very nice drawing?
No.
Can you color that information? So that means, kung usa nakita sa itong mata, mabuhat na nato. So what are the examples of eye-hand coordination? First example, threading a needle. So what do you need in order na masud ang tanod sa needle? Sa pagkamay kayo ang gusto sa tanod. O sa may kailangan nito?
Laway.
Mata. O sa order magpasod? O dapat punta makapasod. O makapasod tanod sa needle?
Wala.
Drawing and coloring. Do you think you can draw if you cannot see? No.
Yeah. Depende. Nahuna.
But as a normal person as you are, can you draw if you cannot see?
No.
Imagine drawing in a very, very dark room. Can you draw a very nice drawing?
No.
Can you color that? For
No.
example, you are drawing a flower. Can you color that flower? If you are in a very, very dark room and you cannot see anything? Diba? So, third example, playing sports. Can you play a sport if your eye and hand do not coordinate? For example, playing basketball. Diba? So, because of that, there are problems and disorders that we encounter if our eye and hand coordination is poor. So what does it mean? This means poor eye and hand coordination, also known as dyspraxia or development coordination disorder (DCD), can manifest in various challenges and difficulties in performing everyday tasks that involve the synchronization of visual information with hand movement. So of course, if we have poor eye-hand coordination, we cannot really perform well in our everyday tasks. So what are the problems that we might encounter? First problem, academic challenges. For example, if you have a poor visual, for example, if you have poor eyesight, can you really overcome your academic challenges? Poor kayo mo eyesight, nakasayo pa ninyo. Magsabot ka sa selection?
Dili.
Diba? And because of that, we will gain some learning disabilities. So, Dalawa sa komunidad, dugay na nakuha o trabaho, occupational challenges because even if we say that all are consulted in work, not every qualifications, then you have challenges, and if you have this, of course, your physical activities will be affected, and you can play sports but limited only. So those are the problems that we might encounter if you have more coordination. So what are the disorders? So first disorder is autism spectrum disorder. So I guess you know what is autism, right?
Yes.
So autism is the neurological and developmental disorder that affects how people interact with others, communicate, learn, and behave. So do you know someone who is autistic?
Yeah.
Di ba na? Pero mura may paluin na nila mas kay gamay lista. O, di mo sa kapan, autistic sila, pero ang pagtrato sa tao nila, iba. Then, second disorder is the cerebral palsy. So, what do you mean by cerebral? Nasa utok. So, what is this cerebral palsy? It is a group of disorders that affect a person's ability to move and maintain balance and posture. So, sa kitaan, di ba? Sa picture, nag-lisod sila o balong kaya nag-tukod kay they are for eye-hand coordination. First is, another disorder is optic ataxia. So, what is optic ataxia? It is a visual disorder. So, specifically, a patient who can see an object may be unable to reach for it accurately until they physically contact it. So, for example, kini, from feeling niya, nagalas tukol, pero hindi niya maabot. Pero di ba, object na normally, isang pagkuhan at maabot siya, mabisot na siya, hindi mo na nakasa na dapit. So, that is optic ataxia. And since we're done with the problems and disorders, let's proceed to the eye-hand coordination developmental stages. So these developmental stages will be seen from infancy to adulthood. First stages is the infant reflexes. So kita nito mga babies, di ba? Yes. So infant reflexes such as grasp reflex, where they automatically close their hand around an object that comes into contact with their palm. So for example, di ba yung baby? Anak-anak ng baby, di ba kayo mga anak na dahil yung bugay ng kabuhian? Because that's their automatic. Pero na muna ilang pag-operate ng reflexes, muna ilang ka ng unang paul, okay, kung kaya nila makuha. These reflexes are involuntary. So, di sila ilang ang misulawas, isa ka control, and provide the foundation for later voluntary reflex. Pero, hindi ka na nila, reach nila sa toddlerhood, 1 to 2 years, they could, makakapagkaka sila gabay. Toddlers find reaching and adjusting skills, becoming more accurate in their movements. They start to develop a better understanding of spatial relationship, depth perception, and object permanence. So, I guess you know what is object permanence, kaya discuss din sa wala sa topic, diba? If nakainom daw, yes. Ang object permanence kay isa dili nila makita. For example, ilang mama, di nakita sila si mama, hibaw sila nga na nila kay permanent naman na. Una, object permanence. And when they reach older, like 3 to 5 years, their fine motor skills become more refined. So that means yaw na kayo sila aning nga stage because they are able to engage in activities such as drawing, coloring, and using simple like scissors. So as you can see sa photo, ang mga bata siyaw na kayo. So dili sa preschool stage, batayan na sila kay tanan nila makita ilang kwaon o ilang bukaan. And early childhood, 8 years, their coordination continues to develop, allowing to increase precision and control in tasks like handwriting and drawing. So in this era of their lives, they know already how to write and draw. Activities involving hand-eye coordination become more complex, such as playing musical instrument or participating And since we're done with the problems and disorders, let's proceed to the IHEN coordination developmental stages. So these developmental stages will be seen from infancy to adulthood. First stages is the infant reflexes. So kita nito mga babies, di ba?
Yes.
So infant reflexes such as grasp reflex where they automatically close their hand around an object that comes into contact with their palm. So, for example, di ba yung baby? Anaan ng baby, di ba kayo anak na dahil yung bugay ng kabuhian? Because that's their automatic. Pero na muna ilang po ano, muna ng reflexes. Muna ilang ka ng unang pa, okay, kung ako'y kaya nila makuha. These reflexes are involuntary, so isa nila po, ilang ang gusto lawas, isa ka control, and provide the foundation for later voluntary movements. Pero, hindi ka na po nila, reach nila sa toddlerhood, 1 to 2 years, okay, they could, makakapagkakos sila gamay.
Wala na ito siya, oh.
Toddlers find reaching and grasping skills becoming more accurate in their movements. They start to develop a better understanding of spatial relationships, depth perception, and object permanence. So, I guess you know what is object permanence, kaya discuss ko sa wala sa subject, diba? If makainom mo,
Yes.
ang object permanence kay isa dili nila makita. For example, ilang mama, isa kita sila si mama, kibaw sila nga, na nila, ay permanent naman na. Una, object permanence. And when they reach older, like 3 to 5 years, their fine motor skills become more refined. So that means now na kayo sila aning nga stage because they are able to engage in activities such as drawing, coloring, and using some tools like scissors. So as you can see sa photo, ang mga bata siya na tayo. So dili sa preschool stage, matayanan na sila kay tanan lang kami sa ilang kwaon o ilang bukaan. And early childhood, 6 to 8 years, their coordination continues to develop, allowing for increased precision and control in tasks like handwriting and drawing. So in this era of their lives, they know already how to write and draw. Activities involving hand-eye coordination become more complex, such as playing musical instrument or participating in sports that require accurate hand movements. So in this stage, they already know how to write, paano hindi sila mag-luwas. Then middle childhood, 9 to 12 years, bukan na sila, di ko lang kung nasa motherhood or sa early childhood, no? Kung sa ilang makuha, ilang kwaon. In this stage, the fine motor skills are well developed and children can engage in activities that provide a high degree of coordination. So what is the high degree of coordination? Kaya nila mo suwat ng tanong, kaya nila sila ng ikaw, suwatan sa bata pa kay nana, ana-ana, dumuloy na. Pero dili sa middle childhood, ilang suwatan kay ana-ana, at ito sila bubulit o papel, ballpen. Then, their writing becomes more fluent and ability to manipulate object with precision is refined. Dili na stage, katulad